When do you stop being the guy who follows the rules? For me, it was the night I got a call at 1 a.m. saying my little brother was on a ventilator. Danny is the best of us. 23, worked 2 jobs to put himself through nursing school. The kind of guy who shovels the whole street's driveways and won't take a dime. That night, he was walking home from his shift when a car ran a red doing 60 and threw him 30 feet down the road. The driver didn't even slow down. A neighbor out walking her dog found him in the gutter and thought he was already gone. I got to the hospital and my mom was already there, gray-faced, shaking. The doctors said Danny had a fractured skull, a shattered pelvis. Bleeding, they were still trying to stop. They didn't know if he'd walk again. They didn't know if he'd wake up at all. The cops came, and that's when it started going wrong. First, they couldn't locate the vehicle. Then a witness came forward with a plate, and it traced to Tyler Brandt, youngest son of the family that owns half the businesses in our town. 3 dealerships, the strip mall, the building the police station rents. Suddenly, the report changed. The witness wasn't credible. The camera at that intersection had been down for maintenance. 2 weeks later, they told us there wasn't enough to charge anyone. Meanwhile, Tyler was posting from a beach in Cabo. I found his profile, sunglasses, and a brand new truck, captions about living his best life, while my brother was relearning how to swallow. I went down to the station, and a sergeant I'd known since Little League wouldn't meet my eyes. Off the record, he said, the Brandts already talked to the chief. Let it go for your own sake. Then he told me something that dropped my stomach through the floor. This wasn't the first time. 2 years back, there'd been a cyclist, a young woman left in a wheelchair. Same family, same color car. That one went away too. People in town knew. Nobody could touch them. I held my mom while she cried in a hospital hallway, and I have never felt so useless in my life. Everyone I knew played by the rules, and the rules were rigged. There was nothing I could do that would touch that family, and they knew it better than anyone. Then I thought of my father. My dad spent 30 years on the docks and the long-haul routes before his back gave out. He knew people from a world I'd spent my whole life keeping at arm's length, men who settled things when the law wouldn't. I always swore I'd never be that. But I drove to my parents' place at dawn and found him in the garage with his coffee and a flip phone full of old union numbers. I told him everything. I watched his jaw tighten until I heard his teeth grind. He set the mug down so hard it cracked. "You have his name?" he asked, in a voice I had never heard come out of him. I showed him the Cabo photos, the truck, the plate. He stared at that screen like he was carving the kid's face into his memory. He made a few calls right there by his workbench, short ones. Names I didn't know, favors from decades back. When he finished, he put his hand on the back of my neck and said, "Go be with your brother. I've got the rest." 9 days later, Tyler Brandt turned up outside one of his father's dealerships. Both hands broken, jaw wired shut. No cameras on that lot, no witnesses. But that wasn't the part that ended them. An anonymous tip sent investigators to a storage unit the family rented. Inside were the crumpled front ends of 2 vehicles, kept instead of scrapped. Trophies or insurance, nobody's sure. It was enough to reopen the cyclist case, and Danny's both. And once people saw the Brandts could actually fall, the dam broke. The dealership manager talked. A tow yard owner talked. The patriarch was arrested for evidence tampering and for bribing half the department. The chief resigned. 4 other victims came forward. Danny woke up on day 11. It was the first time I'd exhaled in almost 2 weeks. He walks with a cane now, and he's back in nursing school. He follows the trial like it's the World Series. My dad never says a word about any of it. When I tried to thank him, he just squeezed my shoulder and asked if I'd caught the game. But his knuckles had healed over rough and swollen, scars that weren't there before. My mom noticed too. She never asked. Some men, I've learned, live by a different code. The kind that says you don't get to break someone's family and walk away laughing.